We have purchased and installed our solar system for £100. We will go into the cost breakdown and the installation in a little bit, but first of all, we thought we would talk about why we wanted solar and how it will be used in our van.
So I think we've mentioned before that it's never been our plan to be full-time van lifers, but this just gives us the option of keeping our battery topped up, going for short stays and just making use of our 12-volt system while we're out and about.
So essentially the solar panel will just keep the battery topped up, so we can use it for things like charging our phones, the van lights, the max air fan and the fridge.
And we'll go into like the full setup of the electrics in another video.
So here is the solar panel we will be installing, which is the Renogy RSP 200D 200 watt rigid solar panel. This was a whopping eBay bargain. It was a local collection only listing and we managed to snag it for £68.74. With the added bonus, it came with the extension cables, which are usually at an extra cost. It is just worth mentioning, if you have the time, to look on places like eBay, Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, because there are bargains to be had, especially collection only bargains where people don't want the hassle of posting, so that is limiting their number of buyers.
So let's get installing. The first step is to attach the brackets. So after Shell had lobbed the panel on the roof, I decided how I wanted it positioned and traced the brackets with a pencil. I then moved the panel and filled the marked areas with Sikaflex. After putting the panel back in place, I secured it to the roof with self-drilling screws and covered with Sikaflex to make it watertight. Time to crack on with the solar panels. So the solar panels up on the roof, we just need to wire it back into the van. So to do that we need our extension cables, which are going to feed from the roof down the pillar of the van. And so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to drill a hole. So we've got a 25mm hole saw, and then we've got some grommets. We need one of those. There's 50 in that box. And then we're going to put this waterproof cover over the top with the cable glands on it to keep it all secure and keep it all nice and dry. Also on the extension cables, I've labelled them up red and black, positive and negative, because there's no markings on the bottom. So once you've got the ends, you might not know what you've got. So that's probably the easiest thing to do. What I didn't explain is that once we've drilled through the roof to bring the cable down, it's going to come down in this section here. Isn't made too easy by the fact that we've carpeted this bit so that we can get on with the roof. So I'm just gonna have to try and feed it down to this corner here, and then feed it down to where it needs to be. Well, that went relatively to plan. So just while the hammerite is going off, I'm just going to feed the extension cables through the grommets on the ground, because it's probably going to be a lot easier, and just get it sort of ready for the connection. So what we forgot to mention, and as an added safety feature, we bought a 20 amp fuse from eBay, which is to be installed between the solar panel cables and the extension cables, and that just protects it in case of any sort of power surges and stuff.
And that's what Warren is referring to here.
Just going to install that now as well whilst I'm on the ground, just to make that a little bit easier. And it is just simple, I think these are MC4 connectors. It's just a simple push fit. That's it, job done. Just installing one of our 50 grommets so the cable doesn't get snagged. And as you can see, it's pretty tricky getting the cable in here because it is packed tight with insulation, yet another thing that we overlooked and probably shouldn't have done yet.
Finishing off on the roof by securing the waterproof cover with clear Sikaflex.
Cable from the solar panel fed into this part of the door up here, which was a massive pain in the butt because it was jam-packed full of insulation. There's other cables in there as well, so it's kind of blindly feeding it down. And then we need to come down this pillar here, which is where it comes. There's a few covers and stuff which you can take off to make it easier, and then just fed down and down and down, and then it just pops out down here in a little hole in the carpet, and it's just kind of loose, and then feeds up into our double pole isolator there.
Let's go into the actual cost breakdown and the various elements that we needed.
So the solar panel itself with the extension cables was £68.74.
The double pole isolator was £16.65.
And the inline fuse was £7.99.
And then the outer cover was £6.89.
The what?
Outer cover.
What outer cover?
That little black thing with the two little knobs on.
You might want to call that something else.
But you call it an outer cover.
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want me to call it?
Yeah, I can't think. I don't think that's what it's like, a waterproof.
A waterproof outer cover.
Yeah, I don't know.
The waterproof outer cover was £6.89.
Which totals a whopping
£100 and 27 pence.